Come a little closer. I won't bite. Like, definitely, I will not bite you. I don't know where you've been. Alrighty.
Next up, in light of numerous actions taken by a number of bodies of the United Nations which exhibit a deep anti-American bias, we have an executive order prepared for your attention that would withdraw the United States from the UN Human Rights Council.
Chat, I've said this a long time ago, specifically about Japan in anime. And I know there's many reasons, chat. There are many, probably far more important reasons why the United States would withdraw from the UN. But this is an anime channel, and I'm going to anime the heck out of it. A while ago, and it's still to this day, right, chat? Still to this day, the UN, as far as I know, has been going on the offensive against Japan, specifically because of their practices and their content. There's a censorship war, chat, going on against Japan, and the UN is right there in the middle of it. And I said this a while back. I said, I don't think, I said to myself, I said, self. I said to myself, I said, self. There's no way that the United States would be a part of the UN for much longer. I think from what little I know, they can't just pull themselves out, but they can, like, you know, pull themselves as far away from it as possible. I'm not really sure, like, what's the connection is. They can't just say, hey, we're done with you guys. At least I don't think so. But the United States has a code to live by. But if the UN is doing something that goes against that code, it's kind of like, why are we a part of it? Now, I think, in all honestly, I think it comes down to money, like, what, and all these other things. Like, why is the UN's being held up by the United States alone? Like, we can't do all the work, and if you're making us do all the work, we're just going to pull out. I think it really comes down to that, as far as I know. Chat, I don't know anything. I'm just trying to piece it all together like you. But when it comes to, like, to Japan, that is one of the issues. At least it's an unintended result of it, really. It's like, if your friend, right, chat? If your friend was going around punching people in the face, innocent people in the face, like people who didn't deserve it, puppies. Yeah, if your friend was going around punching puppies, you're like, yo, I told you time and time again, don't punch puppies. I like puppies, and you're punching puppies. I can't be your friend anymore. I can't. Or I will be your friend, but I will call the cops on you. We can be friends outside of jail. When you come back, maybe you learn something. King Remedy says, punch the puppy puncher. Punch the puppy puncher. Punch your friend, apparently. Again, it's the reason why they're pulling out of the UN isn't anime related at all. Or at least it's like, if it is, it's like 1% of the reason. Not even 1%. It's like 0.0001. There are way bigger reasons. I just have anime on the brain. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Anime is what I do. Anime is what I'll talk about. I've never been a big fan of the UN. Not that I follow the UN or like what they do to a T, but I just feel like every time I hear something that's going on with the UN, I'm like, what? Why? Why? What do you? And it's normally, when I hear things about the UN, it's normally about, well, them in Japan. I'm like, you guys are bullying Japan. I know you don't like Japan's practices, but it's Japan. Leave them alone. Because if you don't leave them alone, the United States might get involved. Anyway, let's just...
Would withdraw the United States from the UNRWA, which is a refugee organization, and would also review American involvement in UNESCO, which has also exhibited anti-American bias. More generally, the executive order calls for a review of American...
What the heck is UNESCO? It's like Nesquik? No, whatever. Let's get back to it.
Involvement and funding in the UN in light of the wild disparities in levels of funding among different countries that, as you've expressed previously, is deeply unfair to the United States.
I've said it, chat.
So I've always felt that the UN has tremendous potential. It's not living up to that potential right now. It really isn't, hasn't for a long time. It has, there are great hopes for it, but it's not being well run, to be honest, and they're not doing the job. A lot of these conflicts that we're working on should be settled, or at least we should have some help in settling them. We never seem to get help. That should be the primary purpose of the UN, the United Nations. And
I said it. I knew it. I said it's definitely not anime. It's most likely has something to do with the United States having to do everything, or at least feeling like they're having to do everything. Like, I don't know how true that is, but you know, the people in power of the United States have been like, hey, why are we forking over so much work? I thought this was a joint operation. Hey, maybe it's with great power comes great responsibility, chat. Like, there's something that you can do that I can't, and I rely on you to do it.
Again, it's got great potential, and based on the potential, we'll continue to go along with it, but they got to get their act together.
That is a huge marker.
What would they need to do, sir, to get their act together?
Well, they got to be fair to countries that deserve fairness. They have some countries, as you know, that are outliers, that are very bad, and they're being almost preferred as countries to those that do their job and are doing a good job, and they have to really, they're going to end up losing, a lot of countries are going to end up losing their credibility like other organizations.
King Remedy says, we carry so many other countries through military and financial aid, then they crap on us. Oh my goodness, you're right. I don't know how much, you know what? I think you're like 99% right on that. The 1% I don't is the I don't know part. But like, I feel like it's 99% right, because the United States gets a lot of flack, just a lot of hatred just in general from its own people and from other people. It's like if your neighbor asks you for help and accepts the help, and then your neighbor just badmouths you. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not going to let you call me names and then I keep helping you.
And then they're going to be nothing. The potential of the United Nations, and not everybody agrees with me on this, the potential of the United Nations is fantastic if properly run. So we'll see what happens.
How much money are you willing to take away from them?
Well, we're taking away a little bit, but we're not looking to take away money. This is so important that we're really, as you know, the United Nations is largely funded by us. But, and it shouldn't be, it should be funded by everybody, but we're disproportionate, as we always seem to be. But it's something that if it ever lived up to the potential, in 10 minutes it would make up the difference. That's the kind of power it could have. Right now it doesn't have that power.
Next, sir, this is
a what? I heard an N-word at the end of that. That's what I heard. This is whoa. Oh gosh. Like I said, it doesn't have anything to do with anime, like whatsoever. If it does, it's like 0.0000001% of it. It kind of got me into the window of, like, when I heard that United Nations were like going after Japan, I'm like, it's a small window of, hey, there's something weird. There's something weird with the UN. Or maybe it's just, it probably just be a coincidence, chat. It's probably just a coincidence. Do you think the actions of Donald Trump will have the rest of the UN members pull their weight if they're not already pulling their weight? Because I know when Donald Trump said something about Russia can do whatever the heck they want, because if you don't pay your security stuff, and people was getting on his head. I'm not the brightest tool in the shed, or whatever you want to call it, but if you don't pay me for my services, I won't give you my services. A flip side to that coin is that if you're my friend and you don't pay me for my services, I'm still going to give you my services. I'm just going to give you an earful later. I'm like, dude, where's my cash? And then I will either keep giving you my services because I love you to death and keep giving you an earful for better or for worse, or I will just nip it in the bud. Is that kind of situation. King Remedy says, add a mod that makes every boss Donald Trump. That'd be wild.